Dunedin Fine Arts Center's Wearable Art was one of the first shows like it in the area 15 years ago. It showcased a growing contingent of artists working in fashion-related ways. That continues, and this tradition is now in its 16th year. Ann Bissett, President and CEO of the Dunedin Fine Arts Center, and Rya DeMulder, Wearable Art Designer, join me now. Ladies, welcome to the show. How are the both of you?
Good, thank you. Very well, thank you.
So let's first talk about the history. I mean, this is one thing that people look forward to all year, don't they, Georgia?
And we didn't have it for 2 years because of COVID, but we continually got telephone calls about it.
Oh, I bet. Let's talk a little bit about the popularity, though, and the history and kind of the growth in general. What do you think is it about this show that it resonates with people, that just continues to show that popularity, you know, year in and year out?
It's a combination of beautiful designs, creativity, art with fashion, sexiness. People just love to have a good time, and it makes your whole imagination explode.
You know, and Rya, let's talk a little fashion and art. I mean, this kind of takes on a different take than maybe what people don't think of when they talk about art. What's the relationship of art and fashion for you as a designer?
Yeah, well, for me, I have a background in theater as well as fine arts, and I always loved fashion as well. So this really marries all of that. It's like a theatrical show. It kind of lets you, you know, traditional fashion shows are there to sell their work. This really lets you run free with your imagination and make it more like celebrate the artistry rather than the pushing of the commercial aspect of traditional fashion shows.
And I was saying, you're smiling right along.
Oh, yes,
It's these creative elements that you are able to witness, and that people, why again, it always almost sells out each year.
It really does, because we have artists like Ryan. We've had them for 15 performances. It's just sensational. It is never the same. And it's not clothing that you can actually wear to a party, but it is just outrageous. One of our designers 14 years ago had a dress made of meat pre-Lady Gaga. And we've had dresses made of everything, even condoms, and I got in a bit of trouble over that.
Did you? We didn't bring that one here today, did we?
No, we didn't.
But it's talkers, and I feel like that's what art is supposed to be about.
Yes, yes, it really is. It makes people think and talk. We step out of your zip code and out of your area.
I like that. And that's what you're able to show on the models. That we are getting ready. You've brought 2 looks. We actually get to have a little bit of a fashion show, if you will. Let's go ahead. Tell us about the first look that we're going to see today, and the first model, if you will.
The first model is Simi, and she is wearing a look that is actually made from a giant Chinese lantern.
Really?
And I knew I wanted to play with volume, and I use a lot of florals in my designs, but for this one, they're made out of cheesecloth.
Really?
Yeah, I use a lot in the other ones. You will see the one coming up next. It's more commercially made flowers, but for this one, it's all handmade.
Can we talk about the headdress, though? Is that even the correct name? Because that is gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think in wearable art, at least for me, I'm heavily influenced by goddess and that type of archetype. And, you know, there's such a rich human history in storytelling, and so often these type of shows, for me anyway, I love a good headdress. So it often becomes the center point of a lot of my designs.
I love that. And I feel like kind of the goddess vibe. And I feel that too for our second model here as well.
Yeah. Amy is in a little bit of a darker look. This one kind of was inspired, kind of more of a dark goddess, if you will. This is also made by florals, but more commercially made. She has the peplum on the side there.
I love that. And you see, and it's funny because you see that in fashion, but not obviously in the materials that you were able to use to make this look.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's why it's such an exciting show, because you can really, you know, this is not a functional look.
But it's a fun
I don't
look.
even think they can sit down, but you know, it's really fun to be able to bring different elements of found objects. And you know, I'm really inspired by the actual materials themselves. So this type of work, you can really let it speak for itself.
Good stuff, Rya. They're beautiful. And in closing, Georgianne, let's go ahead. We're going to share the details and the tickets. I liked hearing about there's like party tickets available. You've got I mean, break down all of the fun that people can have, because there's really a ticket for every budget, right?
Right. The tickets go from $85 to $130 to be in the theater. But you can come to the Art Center and have a standing ticket for $20. We're doing a pre-party. We call it our pre-glow party.
Pre-glow.
And we'll have live music and bars, and you'll have the opportunity to have your photograph taken. You know, you do your own selfies.
Nice.
And then after the show, there's another party. We love parties at the Art Center. I think genuinely artists make parties a lot of fun.
I love that. Well, again, this is such a big fundraiser for the Dunedin Fine Art Center. So let's go ahead again, take one more look at the models. Thank you, everybody, for being with us today.